All right, I'm here with Zachary Ferguson. I'm Nick Mangubat. I'm going to be interviewing him today for an assignment for my Women's Studies 350 class, and we're just going to discuss his family history, who has lived in Fells Point. All right, starting off, so Zach, where did your family come from, and where did they migrate to?
My great grandfather and great grandmother, they were the first Fergusons to come to America. That's my paternal side. They came in the early 1900s, and they came from Poland to Fells Point. My great grandfather chose Fells Point because it was real close to the water, and he figured the work there would be pretty good.
Okay, so what kind of work did they find when they arrived here in Fells Point?
My great grandfather worked in factories pretty much his whole life, and then my great grandmother, she didn't really have a set job because finding work for a woman back then was hard.
Mm-hmm.
But once they were established, they had my grandfather William, and
Was that their only child?
that was their only
Yeah.
child. Yeah,
Okay, so did William remain in Fells Point as he got older?
he did. That's where he met and married his wife, Casey, who's my grandmother, in 1944. She worked in a cannery, and he worked in factories just like his father. And they actually were able to rent a multi-family apartment, which was pretty big for an immigrant back then.
Cool. Did they have any children? Or
They did. They had my dad, Robert, who also remained in Fells Point.
he did?
He did.
So he kind of stayed true to the family roots.
He did, and that's
Yeah.
where he met my mom, Barbara. They got married they actually met and married in the same year, in 1985. And my dad went to Johns Hopkins University and actually ended up working for their medical center and retired
wow.
there.
So was he the first person in your family to graduate college?
He was, and which was a huge deal. And then once they settled down, they bought their first house, which is huge for a Polish immigrant to own a house in Fells Point. Actually, just a house in general.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they had my brother Matthew in 1990, and then I was born in 1993.
Gotcha. All right, so just wrapping up here, how would you say your family's past generations have kind of shaped you as a Baltimorean? And do you plan to remain in Fells Point? So that was kind of a two-parter. So
Well, I'd say that the root of my family would be hardworking, because as an immigrant, it's not easy putting all your eggs in one basket and coming to America. And the hardworking gene obviously just went down the line, because my dad working and graduating from Johns Hopkins is a huge deal. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to go to school in Baltimore. I went to Mount St. Joseph. Me and my brother both did.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't be able to attend Towson University.
right.
As for the second part, I do plan on staying in Baltimore. I love Fells Point.
Yeah.
Nightlife there is fun, and especially Stuggies. I love their hot dogs, so absolutely.
Definitely. All right. I think that concludes the interview. Definitely appreciate you taking the time
You got it.
to answer some questions. All right.